21 of the Young Monarchs podcast. As you all know by now, I am Tiara, Miss Tiara XO on Instagram, host of Young Monarchs. If you are watching the podcast on YouTube now, thank you. I love you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Let me know your favorite parts. Let me know if you disagree, you agree, whatever, who cares. Everybody listening on any of the podcast platforms, thank you for tuning in yet again. I'm just like every time when I upload an episode and I just see how many people are listening, where they're listening, and just kind of like hearing from folks, it like pumps me up for real because as y'all probably know in these times right now, it is crazy outside. It's crazy inside, it's crazy everywhere. And it is such a blessing for me to have like a safe space like Young Monarchs where I can voice my opinion, I can be heard, I can create space for myself, and just kind of like talk to y'all, talk with so many women who experience the same things. And I'm just coming on. It's going to be like a short episode, semi-short, because I was actually planning on recording with a guest today, but we're going to record with her later on in the week for next week. If y'all are watching on YouTube, I got my phone, so don't hate me. But today, it is so much going on, and I just kind of wanted to be real and be honest and open about things that I experience and things that I go through, things that I process and the way I process them. So today, I kind of wanted to start the episode by just kind of saying like why I skipped last week's episode. It's not that I can make episodes every week and I should be making episodes every week. But with everything that is going on, from countless numbers of Black human beings being killed these past few weeks, just with us being at home during like coronavirus and being kind of like you're in a place and you have your phone that connects you with the rest of the world, I was so emotionally drained by everything that was going on, by everything that is going on, because it's still happening. And I just couldn't. I was emotionally tired. I was physically tired. And I was just less present in general. Like you think it's so hard when you wake up as African American individual every day and you see someone has been shot or just like their lives have been taken in heinous, sick ways simply because of the color of their skin, by law enforcement, by ignorant individuals. It hits you because you know that there's no rhyme or reason. You know that the only reason why this woman or this man was killed was because of the color of their skin, and it hits you even deeper because wrong place, wrong time. It could have been you or someone very close to you. And I say Black people as a whole are such a loving, fun group of people to where it hurts me even deeper to why so many people in this country and around the world still think of Black people as, I don't know, not as people, obviously, but you just kind of think of like, why are you so stuck? But then you just look back at history, and this year will have been the 155th years since the full abolishment of slavery, and you think 155 years, that's a long time, but that's not that long ago. So you do see that there's still a fight that has to be had. And honestly, we should have been way further than we are now, but I do not feel like that is our fault. I feel like we have as a people have shown we show up. We show up in our jobs. We show up in our communities. We show up in whatever role or lane we have. We exceed expectations. We are ambitious. We are driven. We are educated. We are funny. We are all of the above. And people will still, no matter how educated, no matter how rich, no matter how established you have worked your little black ass off, people will still see you as less than simply because of the color of your skin. And that is the most sickening thing that I can think of. Like when I think of how to even explain it to anyone who just does not understand how ignorant it is, you think of us all actually being human beings. And if you need blood, like there's no black blood and there's no white blood. We're all human beings. We just all look different. And so many people are so closed off to different, to that, like that term of different, because different could be I'm black, you're white, or you're Hispanic, or you're whatever. And that different can also be you're gay or you're trans or you're whatever, and people won't understand that different, and they won't try to understand that different, and they just hate so much that you are different. And I don't know, it bothers me to my core, because like this isn't a religious based platform at all, but I absolutely believe in Jesus, and you're not going to heaven like that, not acting crazy like that. And it's just been a lot to stay present, especially like with everybody being home. You're constantly seeing things on social media that's constantly bringing you down, more than before, because it's just right in your face. So I've just been kind of taking time to make sure that I'm staying focused and I'm not overwhelming myself with all the negative that is going on right now. And with Young Monarchs, it's all about us going after our dreams, being our true selves, and every day, and doing what we want to do, like standing for what we believe in, living a life that we want to live. And I definitely feel like it's a huge part of creating a life for ourselves to be able to address the internal struggles that we experience on a day to day. And for me, I've just been very, very tired, very kind of not down, but just less present, less trying to be like, I'm here, I'm happy, I'm cool. And it's just been more so like, I'm here. And it's the internal struggle that I'm thinking through and going through is just, what do you do when like the odds are stacked against you? And that's why I feel like it's so important for us, as people of color and just people in general, to exercise all the rights that we do have and all the things that people before us have fought for, and don't stop that fight, because obviously it's still going and still present. I think about both of my grandfathers who lived in Mississippi during civil rights, during slavery, and my grandfather marched in tons of marches, civil rights marches in the South. And I just think that, every time I go to vote, or every time I sign a petition or try to be at an event or something, I feel like I'm doing my part to make sure that everything that they did was not in vain, and everything that they did was for us to continue doing until we were all at a place in our lives where we're all treated as equal as we should be. So I definitely this week I've been trying to kind of stay off social media. This week I am going to stay off of social media as much as possible, but just find other ways that I can uplift myself, uplift my family, my community, and just be present in those ways. Like sign petitions when you see a petition, or when pay attention to like what's going on in politics, to know what's coming, and to educate yourself before voting and things like that. But it is a lot to always, like, it's a lot for people who are super super loving, super super present, super super um, always there, always wanting to be friendly, wanting that in return, wanting to be loving and wanting that in return. And it's so heavy when you see just so much hate. So I definitely want just everybody listening, everybody watching, to continue to fight the fight, but also make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your mental health more than anything. Seeing um, people that look like me over and over being like killed, I can't do that. That doesn't help me fight the fight. Well, it does, but it doesn't help me like mentally to see those pictures, those images over and over. I want to focus on and attack the things that I know that I can fight the good fight on for us. And I feel like for me personally, that's like the systematic racism that comes into like workplaces, because I do work in corporate, somewhat corporate world, and no matter bachelor's, master's, whatever comes next, you still see on a daily basis that, you know, as a black woman and as an individual, you don't want to think that it's because you're a black woman or you're a black man, whatever. But at the end of the day, it kind of, when you think back on how hard do you work, how much do you put in, um, it kind of comes down to that, unfortunately. And you don't know if on the other side of the table they know that, or they're just biased to that. But I know that's where I can fight the good fight, and I can definitely make sure that my voice is heard. And I try to make people anywhere I work understand and know that it's not okay for people of color to be paid less, for women to be paid less, especially black women to be. Um, I can say they pile it on, but they don't pile it in our pockets. So that's definitely a fight that um, I can fight, and I feel like I can do that by creating my own lane and giving a voice to other black women who are creating their own spaces. So many times, obviously, we see every day black men and women creating their own spaces, creating their own brands, their own companies, their own businesses, fashion, and you see how so many people drive to that. And I feel like that's where I can kind of be a disruption to the system by creating my own space, and then being a voice for my community. Like, I want, where I see this platform going, I want to be able to employ black men and black women to create content that speaks to themselves. I want to have podcasts and videos and radios and whatever, to where our voice is always heard and our voice is not only respected but sought after. And now you see so many brands, like, you know, saying Black Lives Matter and doing all these things, but then you see like systematically, if you lived by your social media post, you would see your leadership and diversity departments have at least one black person. Not even at least, it should have black people, it should have Asian people, Hispanic people in brands leadership, and it's not. Our brands, our companies, CEO and leadership boards are all white. And if there is a black person, unfortunately, generally they have the role of VP of, like, Chief Executive Diversity Officer or whatever it's called. And it's a great for black people to be in leadership, but where's the VP of sales? Where's the VP of marketing that is black? The VP of accounting, the CEO, CMO that is African American? That shows that your company is equal. That shows that what you look for in the people that you work with is what's on their resume and not necessarily what they look like when you look at them. And that is kind of where I'm realizing I want to be. I want to create my own space, which I'm doing, and I want to be able to uplift and help and guide other people of color that are coming and that even that are creating their own spaces, if that I can help them in some way or if I can work with them in some way to highlight them as well. That's all about what I want to do. So I just wanted to come on today with a short little snippet because I did not want to go another week without talking to y'all and seeing y'all. I personally, it was just a lot. And just to think that it's going to continue to be a fight makes me know and understand that I can't not be present and I can't not show up and make my voice heard. I just have to be very strategic about what I do and where I spend my money and where I spend my time, and especially where we spend our energy. So make sure y'all are taking time for yourself. Make sure that y'all are doing self care, self love, creating your own businesses, your own lanes, whatever you genuinely feel in your heart that you need to be doing at this time. If it's getting off of social media like your girl, do whatever you need to do for yourself. But I appreciate you all so much for always tuning in. I really love when I hear from you guys, when you DM me. I want to hear your stories, your experiences. If you're watching on YouTube, comment down below. What have you been doing to stay positive right now? What have you been doing to represent and make your voice heard? Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. But next week, we will have another guest on the Young Monarchs podcast. And if not, I will have some very more topics to talk about because we can't stop and we won't stop. And right now, I'm creating a space for myself. I love this space. I'm excited to be here. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy it's growing. And I'm really glad that you guys are taking this journey with me because it is a journey. It's a constant struggle of do I want to make a podcast video, make a YouTube video? Do I want to promote myself? Do I want to really stand behind this brand that came from my heart? And the answer is hell yeah. And it's because I wouldn't have gotten this idea. I wouldn't have seen the things that I see if it wasn't possible. And I definitely see Young Monarchs creating an amazing space for people of color. And I am so excited that y'all want to take this journey with me. Please share the podcast, share the YouTube, and I will see you guys next time. Hit me up, let me know how y'all been doing, because it's getting real out here. See y'all next time.